as Chief Learning Officer, how did you guide leaders within the organization to help overcome some of the resistance to change that was being implemented across the organization?
Well, we kind of went at it obliquely. We didn't address the change as far as this is what you have to become. So what we designed, and I will say this, you might ask me how did it work out. It was fairly early days as well. But what we designed is, let's get in and do the work. So let's get the whole system in the room to solve a problem. Maybe that problem is, how do we give the most uptime for a renewable wind generator off the coast of Block Island that we've put out there. And so that problem involves the digital team and the sales teams and the manufacturing teams and everyone. So you get them all in the room together and say, where are our challenges? Where are we not working? What parts of the operating model? Is it how we're rewarded? Is it how we develop strategy? Is it the structure we're working under? Let's figure out how those things might be overcome, experiment with them, and then just get the work done. And then step back and say, what did we learn? How did we interact? Where did we get stuck? Where did we connect? A friend of mine calls it psychological literacy, the ability to stop and step back and look at what you're doing while you're doing it. I think that's where the learning comes, and the patterns that emerge end up being the things that we learn. So, in short answer to your question, we would just do the work, see what we learned, and then let that inform how our culture needed to change.
So did you do that within like small teams, for example, like pilot something like that in a small team?
Well, we'd actually take a problem, and like the problem I mentioned with our renewable wind, and we would just get everyone in the room that we felt needed to be there. I think one of the best ways to do that is you make an invitation. You say, here's the problem we're trying to solve. Do you have something to say about that and to contribute? That ends up being probably a much better way of figuring out who should be in the room. And it may be a bigger room than you thought, so you have to use technologies like open space technology to allow the discussion to occur, but it gets everyone there who needs to be.